Well, fascinating stuff there. The design required to build these bows is phenomenal. But here's some interesting facts for you, Vic. 70 metres, as you know, down the range. We're looking down at the targets, what, 1.22 metres wide. Do you know how long an arrow takes to get down there?
It goes 200 feet a second, so probably, and what was that, 200? It's probably about a second.
1.04 seconds, very good. But the fastest mammal on Earth, the cheetah, would take 2.4 seconds to get down there. The fastest man on the planet, Usain Bolt, would take 6.7 seconds to get down there. And a snail, well, just a little faster than me at 1 hour and 29 minutes. How fast do you reckon you... We should have a little race a little later on, in between sessions, maybe. Do you reckon you'd be able to... We'd have to hurdle the time and the podium right in the middle.
Well, you told me the other day that with this altitude, you were feeling a little more winded running here at 4,200 feet.
Giving away my lack of fitness and conditioning here. I did a 5K. It took me about 20% longer than it normally does. But anyway, enough about my lack of fitness. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course Instagram. In between these live coverage events, we get to show you a lot behind the scenes going on in the world of archery, and a lot of athlete exposés, which is brilliant to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of good athletes out here in this event for sure.
Well, it's time to welcome some more back onto the field of play, as it's time to start the bronze medal match in the Recurve men's team event. And here is how the teams got here.
Malaysia beat Mexico in a close tiebreaker in their quarterfinal match. Italy also had a tight quarterfinal match, beating the U.S. team in a shoot-off by 1 point.
Well, there you go. Malaysia versus Italy first. Let's welcome the teams to the field of play here in Salt Lake City.
Speaking of action, we're back. Please welcome the contenders for the Recurve men's team bronze medal final here in Salt Lake City.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno. No.
Can you come to the line, please?
Shooting for the bronze medal on target, number 2. Please welcome Italy. World champion and Olympic medalist Michele Frangilli. Marco Morello. And Olympic medalist Mauro Nespoli. And here come their opponents. The Tigers are in the house. Please welcome Malaysia. Haziq Kamaruddin, Karul Anwar Muhammad, Muhammad Akmal Noor Hasreen. Our line judge from World Archery for this match, Mr. Hossein Nasarinejad, as we're going to be getting underway in just moments with the team of Malaysia shooting first on target number 1. First team to reach 5 set points will be
Malaysia will shoot first, Italy will shoot second.
So our line judge there, Hussein Nasarinejad, announcing that Malaysia on target 1 will shoot first. The Malaysians are world number 7. They came through qualification ranked 1. Haziq Kamaruddin, Khairul Anwar Muhammad, and Muhammad Akmal Noor Hasreen. 120 seconds to release all 6 arrows, so an average of 20 seconds per arrow is what the teams are looking for. Malaysians shooting smoothly and sharply. And the best save for last. 28 out of a possible 30. So now it's the turn of the Italians. World number 6 came through qualification ranked 7th. Michele Frangilli, Marco Morello and Mauro Nespoli.
9 a sinistra, dai. Dai Marco, bene dentro. Grande, 10 a sinistra, di riga. Buona, bravo. Dove alto a 1 centimetro e mezzo, dai Max. Buona.
Well, level between the two teams here at the halfway stage in the first set.
You see his bow arm swing in a little bit on that shot. His sight picture probably wasn't what he wanted to see, so he was trying to help it back over to the target a little bit. Generally, these archers like to have their arms kind of more in a line on their follow-through.
Well, maximum of 60 possible. Malaysia starting things off in the first set with a 55. Italy have the potential to score 58 here if they shoot 3 10s right now.
Michele Frangilli coming up here. He is an Olympic gold, silver, and bronze medalist. And a neat piece of trivia, he is actually a knight. He has been knighted by Italy, Cavaliere Michele. You see he has a string on the tip of his stabilizer there that was blowing in the wind a little bit.
Well, they had a chance there, the Italians, but they dropped a few points there. And Malaysia take the set, 55 points to 52, and start things off very well. Malaysians 2 set points up, and here is a comparison of the arrows, Vic.
All right, well, Malaysia's got a fairly decent group. A couple 10s, a few 9s, and 8. Hair on the left, but not bad. Italy's got a few of them high, a couple of them low. Overall, these archers are fairly centered on the target. A couple that got away, but the group's fairly centered.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you're a regular club archer, you know, you'd probably be pretty happy hitting 7s or inside on a regular basis. But here, because the standard is so high, it's easy to forget sometimes that hitting a 7 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. When it's calm and these archers are shooting well, they don't have too many arrows outside of the yellow. But you add the pressure of the competition and the wind as a big factor, it opens those groups up some.
Well, with Italy trailing by those 2 set points, they will shoot first in the second set. And you're listening to the expert opinion of Vic Wonderly, an Olympic silver medalist himself. And as he said, the wind has played its part here in Salt Lake. But it picked up as the athletes were coming out being presented to the crowd. But it has settled right down now. So big scores expected.
Grande,
To me, that just looked like a great shot all around. The way that he executed the shot, the follow through, the result of the target indicated the same. These archers train hard to keep their form very consistent from shot to shot, because if they can shoot the same consistent form, they can land that arrow in the same place, and then it's just a matter of moving their sight to get it to hit in the middle.
Well, the Knight scores a 9. 27 out of a possible 30. And you're watching the Recurve men's team bronze medal match here in Salt Lake City, Utah, the United States of America. Well, the first one drifted off to the right, an adjustment there. Takes us to a 10, and 9 is all that's required to level things up halfway through the second set. So Marina Spilli up for Italy. Releasing pretty fast there, a 236 km/h arrow.
He shoots fairly heavy bow weight from what I understand. These archers shoot small diameter arrow shafts to try to resist the wind drift. They also have many things personalized in their setup. Frangilli, this is one of the first times I've seen him with V-bars pointing down. Typically, he's had more of a level V-bar setup.
Now, for those of you new to archery, what is it, a V-bar?
A V-bar is part of the stabilization. So those long rods that you see coming off the bow are called stabilizers. They add weight and balance to the bow and take a little bit of the shock out of it.
So 55 again for Italy, and a potential 58 for Malaysia. And that fourth arrow scoring a 10 keeps that hopes alive of another 2 set points for the Malaysians. It's drifted out onto the 7-8 line, so it gets marked up to an 8. 9 here will be good enough to draw level with Italy and share the 2 set points. A 10 will put Malaysia in a commanding lead.
An 8, so we're all tied up now, 2-2.
Oh, you wouldn't have guessed that.
All it takes is a little pressure, a little wind, and sometimes things happen.
Well, here we look at Michele Frangilli.
He is one of the best all-time archers.
Target 2. 9, 9, 8.
Target number 1, 8, 10. Well, big surprise there for Italy there, scoring a 55. Malaysia with the door wide open, only managed a 54, and probably their least consistent 3 arrows in the second half of the second set, 10, 8, and 8. And as you said, Vic, it's all level now. And well, we saw some thrilling action in the women's gold medal match. Italy seem to be giving us the same here against Malaysia.
That's right. These are very well-trained teams, and number 7 and number 6 world-ranked teams. They're fairly close coming into this, I believe.
Yeah, Malaysia came through the ranking rounds here after qualification ranked first.
Oh, okay.
But they are the world number 7 team. Italy are the world number 6 and came through qualification ranked 7th.
Ah.
good start from Malaysia. With the scores level. They shoot first, as they did in the first set.
Leaving a chance for opportunity there.
Grande indeed, and that bow weight that Vic referred to, producing a 239km/h arrow for Nespeli.
A little bit longer hold on that shot.
Well, just 1 point in this.
Malaysian archer really drops his bow arm inside on those shots. It's not typical of what I see of many of the archers. But it's certainly been working for him.
Wow, again, just drifting out there into the 8. 53, and a big opportunity for Italy again. A potential maximum of 57. A margin of error of 4 points.
9 alto, quasi 10, bravo, buona. Dai Marco, tieni bene, fino in fondo.
Long hold. Morello drops it into the 8. 9 is enough for a draw. 10 seconds left on the clock. There again, with an opportunity, the Italians just dropping the ball there, and it's Malaysia who struck back. They won the first set, the Malaysians. Italy struck back to take the second, and Malaysia have taken the third. Now, has the wind changed things here? Because they seem to be shooting a little bit low there, the Italians.
They had a couple arrows out to the right. The overall group centered up and down fairly well. There's a couple low, a couple high. You kind of have a void in that low right corner of the 10 ring, but you know the group overall is good. They just got some right flyers, so maybe that could be a little bit of wind or a form mistake that sends those arrows out to the right.
I mean, the conditions are calmer here than they were yesterday. We are not getting the blusteriness that we did yesterday, but there's still changes in the conditions.
Italy will shoot first, you will shoot second.
So with Italy trailing by those 2 set points, they need to win this one to stay in with a chance for this bronze medal. Pretty close to the X there for Mauro Nespoli. A bit better there from Marco Morello, not holding on quite so long as he did in the previous set.
Letting down and resetting. I didn't see exactly what it was. My guess was perhaps the arrow was not underneath the clicker, or maybe he had something on the pointer arrow rest that he wanted to clean off there.
The experience that he has meant he got a 9 there, Frangilli.
You notice there's a little thing on the front of the bow that slaps down against the bow right before they shoot. That thing is called a clicker. It makes sure they pull back the same distance every time.
Chance for a 2-point lead for Malaysia at the halfway stage of the 4th set. Drifting out into the 8, so level pegging. It seems that whichever team gets ahead or has the opportunity to get ahead, they're consumed by pressure and they don't shoot as well as they could do.
Yeah, you have to be able to close it out. Nespoli has just been shooting very solid this entire match.
Yeah, only 9s and 10s for Nespoli.
That was one of the smoother shots I've seen out of him in this match, and looks like he's finally kind of finding his place there.
Well, they need to, because they need to apply the pressure to Malaysia here to stay in with a chance for the bronze. So 55 out of a potential 60. Malaysia have a chance here. They could get a maximum of 57 in the 4th set, and that would be enough to win the bronze medal here in Salt Lake City. 2 10s, and they've still got it. And in fact, a 9 and a 10, and they'll still have it because they'll share the set points. We just picked up a little bit.
8 points. Looks like we may be in for another shoot-off.
It's amazing. Again, the opportunity was there for one of the teams, and they dropped the ball. The pressure of shooting for medals here in the Hyundai Archery World Cup.
Well, I can tell you from my experience, it's easy to sit up here in the booth and talk about it, but it's a whole other thing to be standing down there on the field.
Well, 4 apiece. Both teams have had chances throughout this match, but we go into a thrilling tiebreaker. And Vic, remind us how this happens. Remind us how the tiebreaker happens.
Oh, I'm sorry. So these teams will each shoot 1 arrow per person. They will decide it first by score, and then if the score is still tied, the team that has the arrow closest to the middle will win. And if both of those arrows are the same, they will move on to the second arrow.
Well, there we go. Malaysia, who shot first in the first set, will shoot first here, and they will alternate between the athletes in what effectively is a mini set.
Okay, Malaysia shoot first, you shoot second.
So they're going to put up new target faces to make sure everything's clean for a measurement, if they have to take it closest to the center measurement for this event.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of time here, and we saw that Michele Frangilli there had that reset moment. You talked about the clicker, and you talked about why they might do that. And obviously his experience meant that he still got a 9 out of that arrow.
Yeah, it doesn't affect him too much once it gets pulled back. So let's see if we can figure out what he did here on this one. Okay, now this one. Oh, yep. See, his clicker dropped on him, so he was resetting the clicker to start the shot over. His clicker just fell before he wanted to.
Oh, just what you said. Perfect.
Yep. And he's as nice of a guy as he is a good archer. I remember shooting a competition in Turkey one time when my bow didn't come in, and he was kind enough to offer up his backup bow for me to use for the competition.
So why would that have happened there? Do you think it's his technique, or
these archers pull back and they try to set up really close to the tip of their clicker and then pull through that final little bit, and he pulled just a tiny fraction too far that caused it to go off before he was ready.
Well, there we go. Beautiful replay of that situation, but now it's time for the tiebreaker here. Recurve men's team bronze medal match. Malaysia versus Italy. 4 set points each after the 4 sets. Malaysia will shoot first for the bronze. Just a little bit of tension there by the looks of things, but shoots a 9.
Honestly, it surprises me with this follow-through that he's able to still manage arrows in the goal.
Just drifting out there. It's marked as an 8. Very close to the line. Well, good height there, but just to the right, maybe a bit of communication and a slight adjustment, but we're talking about percentages of a fraction of a millimetre. That one's drifted out wide to the right, and a 7 chance here for Malaysia.
That takes the pressure off a little bit here on the Malaysian archer to just shoot a reasonably good shot.
Yeah, 7 will mean that Italy can only draw level. Oh, and a 7 it is. So a 10 required from Italy, and then we'll go to the measure.
Correct. This was a position he was in the Olympic Games.
Can the Prince do it? 10 required. But only shoots an 8 there, and Malaysia have taken the tiebreaker. An amazing contest there, but Malaysia win by 5 set points to 4 in a tiebreaker for the bronze medal here in the Recurve men's team event in Salt Lake City. And a brilliant match full of drama throughout. But it's the Malaysians who will be on the podium a little bit later on today. Well, we saw some interesting technique there. You're talking about the leader, Malaysian archer, with the dropping of the bow arm.
Yeah, my guess is probably he was on the left-hand side of the target, and then he would collapse the shot to try to bring the arrow back over to where it is. Basically, essentially 2 wrongs making a right. And it's difficult to do to the extent that he did it, and to do it consistently. Sometimes that can really jump up and catch you, but these archers are very experienced and very practiced. You know, I would say it was almost a reflex to what he was seeing in a sight picture when he let that off. But I would venture to say his average shot in practice does not look like that.
Well, here is a comparison of the tiebreaker arrows, and well, the Italians are in a bit of a better group, and they're the closest to. In the end, it wasn't required, the measure, but the Malaysian arrow was only just under 8 centimetres away from the spider, and it's Malaysia that will be on the bronze medal step of the podium a little bit later on today. The wind nice and consistent here as we see some highlights of Malaysia versus Italy in the Recurve men's team event. The Prince there shooting consistently, but not quite enough to take out the Malaysian Tigers. High fives all around, and we'll see them on the podium a little bit later on today. But that's the bronze over and done with. It's time.